Hey y'all, it's Dakota from Blueburns. I just want to give a quick trigger warning before this episode starts because we are breaking down this video, which is Tokyo Teddy Bear by Neru, and this song very much gives, how should I put it? It very much insinuates very dark things, very dark themes such as suicide, depression, running away, things like that, and self-harm, not to mention self-harm. And so if you are very triggered by that or find those subjects hard to really digest and take in, I highly suggest you skip this episode of Josh and I kind of picking apart this song. And no hard feelings, I just want to make sure y'all are okay, and I don't want you guys to feel bad after watching any of our episodes. So thank you though for checking in. I really appreciate you guys checking out the podcast, and if you are sticking around, enjoy, and I'll see you soon. Thanks, guys. Bye. Alright, hello everybody. Welcome back to Blueburns. This is a podcast about cosplay and nerd culture, and I'm really happy that you're here to join us today. Today we'll actually have a visual with it because I am joined by Artistic Panda Photography.
Yo.
Who will be on my rambling train a lot, because that's what we do. But us being very similar in the way we like to analyze, music
we talk
videos.
A lot. We do the talking a lot and have the many ideas
on all sorts of art, and so we tend just to go off and off on singular music videos and just analyze them unironically and also ironically, but.
That sounds like it's limited to music. You make it sound like it's music videos that happens too. It's not just music. It's everything. It's everything.
Fan-made stuff, official-made stuff. We're like, okay, let's talk about this, and then we ramble on like a 3-minute video for about
2 hours.
2 hours. Until we're like, right, what were we talking about again?
AKA, the part of the reason why I'm going to be here at least twice is because our conversations take up a lot of time, and sometimes that's what we need.
And I feel like it flows well, so I feel like it was like, you know what, this is perfect podcast material. So I kind of messaged good old Josh, and I was like, you're gonna be on this, and he's like, I assumed.
Weren't we supposed to like go into at least a little bit of our history of working together?
Yes, but as you know, that whole fiasco.
Had that. So, fun fact.
Oh God.
What you're hearing now is our attempt at re-recording something that happened a week ago.
Oh, we can re-record that. We can record that in a different session. Like, this doesn't have to go up before that, but like.
Fair.
But yeah, we were like, okay, let's finally record our whole history and our fiascos while working together, and wouldn't you know it, the internet was like, let's just not work and just crash everything. So, because as you know, we are not only states away, but we're practicing social distancing, and I'm doing all of these appearances over the internet because icky germs.
I would say this is probably the best social distancing possible. Simply be a few hundred thousand miles away.
Man, I want to look that up now. I want to know how far away I am from Wisconsin, from the Gold Midwest. But goodness.
Also, because this is funny, apparently a certain somebody found out that the Midwest is actually very drunk.
Oh. Okay, so
I'm gonna call you on this one.
Yeah. I can't say that and then not have you bring that up. So I spent most of my growing up years in the Midwest, and I traveled around a lot with my family, with going around the country, and I was like, yeah, I can get why the Midwest centers around beer and alcohol, but I feel like it's just a big stereotype that we just get drunk and drink all the time and everything's centered around it. But now I'm living in the East, and I just recently turned 21. And so I finally got carded for the first time, trying to get a thing of Mike's Hard Lemonade, and Josh here was like, wow, on Mike's? Why would you get carded? like, because there was alcohol in it. We're not in the Midwest anymore.
It wasn't even that. It was more of just wow, you actually got carded.
Yeah. Fun fact, I don't know.
And it happened...
I don't drink that often, but, like, I didn't realize that nowadays they don't even, like, check the date on it. They just scan the back and it goes through a system. Isn't that crazy?
Not really?
To me it was. I'm a little behind.
I feel like that feels like the logical progression of automation.
Right.
In our current society.
Because there are people who
misread to be fair,
dates and stuff.
This one's not a bad one. Although, it depends. I guess if each card has a unique code, it's fine. If there's any sort of overlaps, weird things can happen. Fun fact. My dad once got stopped at an airport because he shared the same name with a terrorist.
That's actually insane, and I would love to hear that story off mic sometime. but yeah, and traveling around, I do realize that, especially in our state that we lived in, you could, no matter what age you're with, I think the biggest law is, like, no matter what age you're with, if you're with your family, let's say you're like 12 or 14 years old, if you're going to a bar with your family,
parents,
and your parents buy you a beer,
probably let you drink,
then they're fine with it. And I was like, that's...
Granted, I never did that.
No, me neither, but, like, I was just kind of got used to that rule.
It was funny that it's funny that it's a thing, and also that, like, because, like, you would see, not all the time, but every now and then you just see a kid who is clearly too young to drink with, like, a beer.
Yeah, with, like, a bush in his hand or something, and I'm like, you know what? But, I mean, I never really did that with, my parents or anything, but I just got so used to it because that's, well, it was in the Midwest. And coming out here, there's some places you can't even enter unless you're 21 if it's a bar and stuff. And I'm like, what? That's crazy. In the Midwest, at least you could enter. You just wouldn't be able to drink, but just can't enter. Whoa.
I think it's more of you're not actually supposed to be able to enter. It's just, it's the Midwest and they let you anyways.
Oh, it's, honestly, I want to make a pin now or some sort of, like, yeah, like, I think a pin would be great. Just, like, it's the Midwest, period. Like,
I think back in my hometown, there's, like, at least 2 bars, like, within like a walking distance of my house.
Oh my gosh, I've taken you to my hometown. We have about 5 bars, no grocery stores. I feel like my hometown is the epitome of small town Midwest, where there's more cows than people.
It kind of is. Like, there seem to be more bovine citizens than
There's more tractors than cars. My graduating class was smaller than 40 people.
People driving tractors to school is also kind of peak Midwest.
Oh my gosh, the fact that the FFA was the biggest club and the Bring Your Tractor to School Day was, like, the biggest day in the school year should, like, scream lots. And yeah, like, the more I think about it and talk to the people, the more that my hometown is the epitome of, like, super, super small town, why do you even exist? Like,
sometimes there's the thing with tractor people, the thing with the people that bring tractors to school.
Oh.
About 15, 20, 25% of them are pretty cool.
I mean,
25% of them are kind of ambiguous, like you would never really care.
Right.
50% of them have a high likelihood of either showing up to school with something really shit, pardon my language, on the back of their tractor, or accidentally driving into the school with a tractor.
I mean, we never made that, but I feel like that's just with anybody. I mean, being the family.
That is, yeah.
Being the family that came from California that didn't hunt to Wisconsin, like, we were not really, like, we didn't really fit in, and, like, I mean, generations just kind of grow up there, so when they're just like, we don't recognize your name, who's your grandparents? I'm like, no, you don't understand. We were not from here. We don't grow up here and die here. We move. We're crazy like that.
See, for me, right, no one ever asked that question.
I mean,
because it was pretty friggin' obvious.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's true. With our ethnicities, yeah, it's pretty damn obvious. For all of you who don't know, ethnicity wise. Josh is.
I am
You're
very Asian.
Yeah, because your parents are from
my
China,
parents are
right?
from China. My parents are
Yeah.
from China. I was born here,
Yeah, so you're
but
first generation of your family American, right?
I'm technically a second generation immigrant because my parents would be the first generation immigrants.
Gotcha. But you're the first American born.
Yep.
Makes sense. All right, cool.
I believe the term often used is ABC, American born Chinese.
Ah, okay. I have been avoiding the news for the past while.
I don't worry, so have I.
And I don't even actively avoid it. It's just I work 10 hours a day, and then I come home, and then I do schoolwork, and then I do like an hour or two playing video games, and then I pass out, and then I do the whole thing over again. But anyways, let's get back to see how we ramble. We just ramble on about things.
Yeah, we had a goal. I don't know if that goal is still present.
It's all right.
I just know that we had one.
It's entertaining.
Goals existed in the past.
Podcasts are meant to be played in the background, right? No one's actually half paying attention. Who knows? Anyways, it's great driving material. Either way, today, as most of you know, I've been really heavily getting into vocaloids recently, and I feel like I'm a little late to the game, but wow, it's a wonderful world to get into, and especially with my Nintendo Switch game, with the Project Diva game, I've been really loving some of the, not only the songs, but also the videos they put to them, which make me go down a rabbit hole to like find more of them, and the originals, all that fun stuff. And Josh, I would love to see you react to this one, which is called Tokyo Teddy Bear. And honestly, I love this one.
Already a good name.
It
Already
is
a good name.
Great. I'm gonna play it so we can analyze the video and like the vibe, and then once we take an hour to finally get through the video, which is 3 minutes long, I will show you the with translations.
All right.
We'll take that because you'll already know from the vibe of the video. Although it's called Tokyo Teddy Bear, it is pretty dark, and so.
I feel like part of the thing is like I expected it to be dark, but only because
it has such a lighthearted name.
Danganronpa.
You know what? That's so valid.
I have never played Danganronpa, but it exists.
Yes.
And therefore, I have seen enough to just be suspicious of animated teddy bears.
That is so valid, which is kind of funny because I played the first game and I loved it. I need to play the other games. I've never watched the anime, but I know that the Game Grumps just played the first game, which made me extremely happy because I loved the first game. But this song has more to do with teddy bears and like metaphorically wise than I feel like Danganronpa ever did. Is that just me?
See, that doesn't make it any better because like I have also again watched the animes where teddy bears are hyper symbolic for some horrible thing that happened to someone, and
I never thought of that until
we could have a pretty long discussion about the symbolic nature of teddy bears in anime and how oftentimes they represent a loss of innocence in some way, shape, or form. But you know.
Damn, I never really thought about that until now. Maybe that's just like a cultural thing in Japan that like teddy bears kind of have that like.
To be fair, it's not just Japan. It's part of it's because teddy bears are so ingrained with the idea of innocence because you give a child a teddy bear.
Yeah.
So if anything, like the teddy bear often represents innocence, and if something bad happens to whoever owns the teddy bear, something bad, like the teddy bear either shifts its meaning, or the teddy bear also gets damaged in some way, shape, or form, and to represent that, the damage, the trauma, that kind of thing.
Right. Yeah, so we'll get this going then.
So I no longer trust animated teddy bears. The whole point behind that rant. I don't trust animated teddy bears anymore.
The metaphors have been too blatant in everything. So
yes.
So in that talking, let's listen to and watch Tokyo Teddy Bear. Whenever you want me to stop, just let me know, because that's the reason I'm sharing this video on this. So by the way, if you guys are listening to this podcast form, I am going to show the video just because we do tend to stop and pause and go back a lot, especially if it's a very well-detailed video. So if we jump around,
also,
I want you to be able
to as a note, neither of us are experts.
No, yeah, exactly. None of us are like.
Most of this is probably us
as fans,
digging
just
either
kind of
too
like
deep or bullshitting something.
Oh, definitely.
Or maybe we do catch something actually important. But
Yeah, like,
we're just fans. Don't take our word for gospel.
We're just nerds that really enjoy
I
art.
feel like I need to say that disclaimer just because, like,
it should be obvious in the way we talk.
it should be, but also we do have a habit of, like, diving way too deep into things, and people might take it too seriously.
Right. I mean,
so, you know, disclaimers are always fun.
I would love to hear what an actual professional reacting to us talking about stuff would be like. Because they'd be like, what are you talking about? Oh my gosh. I mean, at least you're a photographer, so you kind of know some of the terms, but I'm just like, that whooshy thing they do, and I'm just, oh. Anyways. Let's get started. Oh yeah, this is recorded by someone of Itomi Karin, and God bless.
Alright.
You want me to stop?
Clearly metaphorical teddy bear.
Yep. It's funny how you said that,
okay.
and I'm like, oh goodness.
Okay, like, it's not just that it's a teddy bear, like, it's the patchworkiness of it. Like, I swear, okay, and if this podcast has comments, tell us in the comments. You have absolutely seen a patchwork teddy bear in so much horror, right?
I just want to apologize that I just realized I've been doing this all through my speakers until now, and I'm so sorry if you guys hear any feedback until now. So, but yeah, going back to the
comments, if there are comments.
Yes, I'm putting these on YouTube, so.
Okay, cool. In the comments below, tell us about the fucking patchwork teddy bears you've seen in horror.
I want
because
a whole
there's so
list.
many. There's so many. Like, it's a weird. That one seems more Asia and anime especially likes their patchwork teddy bears.
Yes.
But like, look at that.
Yeah.
Like the really clear and obvious stitching.
The literal,
the mismatched colors.
Yeah, I'll see the mismatched colors. So I want
actually,
Wikipedia article on all of the teddy bears. Metaphors.
An example in Western media, FNAF.
Oh, you're so right though. Oh,
it's got the same patchwork effect.
I'm gonna do a whole. That reminds me to put on the idea list. I need to do a whole podcast on FNAF because I'm a huge FNAF lover, and the metaphors that go
that's
with
a horror teddy bear. There's just a horror teddy bear.
Yeah, look at that. And look, oh, you can see like in this the gash.
Oh yeah, there's like it's either a gash or a patch.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it's a horror teddy bear. Like that's what it is like aesthetically, it's a horror teddy bear.
And like look at her outfit too.
The patched outfit.
Like as you'll find out and stuff. Like, I know we're only 6 seconds
patchwork
into this,
dolls.
but
patchwork dolls as well.
The patchwork dolls, but this song specifically, because I said this song has more to do with actual teddy bears than like Danganronpa ever did and stuff, but like because of the outfits corresponding kind of with how she's wearing. I mean, no, I'm sorry, I'm like what? Let me start that over. Her outfit corresponds to how the teddy bear is and stuff. This song is very much like the metaphors between a teddy bear and literally the seam sewing it back together and how she's feeling. It's really great. I feel like how this song kind of came together, and when I looked at the lyrics, I'm like, this is such a well-written song. It's sad, but it's so well written.
Also, much lighter note, love the lens flares.
I was just about to say that. I'm so glad you said like I was just about to say look at that animated lens flare right there. Gotta love that.
The shadows are really well done as well.
Yes. By the way, on this channel that I'm watching this, Karen? Is it Karen? I think it's Karen. I don't know why I said Karen. But these are all taken off of the PS4 graphics for this game. I play the Switch version, and I'm kind of sad that I realized afterwards that the graphics for the PS4 on this game are way better. Which I can respect because PS4 has a bigger, you're not taking the console around with you, so you don't have to like jam it all into one small device when take it with you.
But PS4 is about the size of a compact PC.
Right, but also it's
like a laptop.
Yeah, you have that kind of fueling onto the TV, but with a Switch, you literally have to make sure all of that hardware can be put onto that.
The Switch itself
screen.
Is about still the size of like 2DSs, give or take.
So they really had to sacrifice a lot of the graphics when doing it, and it makes me sad. But I mean, I still respect well done graphics, so I'm glad they put the PS4 ones on YouTube. So anyways, let's continue. I went back a little bit.
close up from. Ooh, okay, partially shadowed there is interesting.
Like.
All right, I like that transition. That transition was.
Like in just this title card, the just scraps of fabric around.
Again, it's that patchworky horror doll toy horror kind of thing.
Now that you mention that, what makes patchwork so like horror aesthetic? But maybe it's just the feeling that it's not perfect. It's not quite together.
It's incorrect. Yeah,
right.
It's the idea of something being incorrect, which is it feels wrong to say it that way.
Yeah, but I think also too like how big like an obvious stitchings are, like stitched together. Like you can have some really nice stitched together stuff, but when you have like these really messy big
it's the
stitches,
association I think
is with like the horror with
you. But like what's the other place you see relatively large stitches like that?
In skin sutures.
Yeah, I think that might be another part of it. Is like you use the stitching to simulate a wound.
Mm-hmm. And that's where your mind kind of goes.
You can have gore kind of without actually having, like, you can have a bloody cut up person, multiple air quotes there, without actually using blood or a person by showing a teddy bear, a doll, or whatever, having all these patchwork stitches, and it gives that same effect of injury, damage, brokenness of a person.
I kind of want to see someone try to recreate, like, a horror suture scene, but with something like a teddy bear, like, and without any other thing at all. I want to see if they can recreate that ambiance and that horror with nothing but like a plush.
Yeah, you can do it. You can do it.
No blood and guts. So, all right.
If you had I think that the big part of that would come down to audio, though.
You're right, and like the mood lighting and stuff.
You need the stitching sound to be really loud and obvious. You'd need scissors. Again, you need all the sounds to be really loud and obvious, and that really stark, almost medical lighting would help.
Yeah, I was gonna say that the lighting, and for me, the angles on how things are seen would be so important. And like what you
close-ups
cannot see
would help.
Yes.
The close-ups to not see the whole thing.
Get the macro. So, all right. Oh, to continue on.
Yeah, this is like
the cutout silhouettes. Like, I fell in love with this video so like immediately.
I like the way that. Actually, can you go back a little bit?
Yes, of course.
Something I noticed. I want to double check if I'm not like hallucinating it. Okay, pause. No, it's fine. It's fine where you were.
Okay.
If you watch it, the white text and the black text vibrated different. They're not connected. Also, they almost look like they're not different words, but because they're vibrating differently, it makes it look like it's almost two different words or two different phrases. I don't know.
Yeah, well, so I've actually been learning Japanese and Japanese characters and reading and stuff, and like I'm nowhere near in a way where I'm anywhere fluent. I'm still in the learning stages. It's a very hard language. Like, it's very interesting to learn a new writing system, and it's in a way where it's obviously looks like they're two different types of words. Like they're not, there's, because this one's in the white, it's cut off and it's like vibrating this way and this one's vibrating that way, but it's still centered in a way I can tell what it is.
Actually, along with that, there's a small shadow over the white text to make it feel like the black text is above it.
I guess I didn't really think that way. For me, it was just to make sure that,
No, not there. Go to where the line goes down and changes. No, right where you were. So where we are. Stay right there. Right. Go to where the line goes down on the screen and changes color.
Okay.
Note that at the edge there, like the fuzzy soft shadow there, makes it feel like, so the black text is above, the white text is above the background.
Mm-hmm.
Layers.
Yes, the depth.
It gives you a sense of depth with the letters, not just having as like an object with dimensions.
Well, it's crazy too because it's almost like a second layer of depth, because you already have this cutout scene where she looks like she's inside.
Yeah,
we're already looking through something, and then you've got these over top of it, kind of having their own sense of depth, and so it just really has a very captivating feel.
There's a lot of layers here.
Right. Like an onion, like ogres. So. You can disown me for that. I'm gonna get a lot of hate for it, but I'm not a huge fan of the Shrek movies. Like, there's some scenes are iconic, but like when it comes to the actual Shrek movies, I'm like, I would rather watch something else. I just want to put that out there now before some people and get the hate now. Like, but I felt obligated to make that reference. All right, moving on.
And again, that horror aesthetic of ooh.
Yeah, right.
Going back to that scene right there,
Right
we're hovering
there.
over right now. Close enough.
Mm-hmm. Wait, I can do the whole.
That I think might supposed to be like Tokyo Tower.
No,
it's not wide enough. It's not wide enough.
Right.
It almost looks like the Eiffel Tower in a weird way with the way it's angled. It also might be a syringe. It might be a syringe.
See, I've always had troubles figuring out what that is. Because, now that you mentioned syringe, it could be. Or I almost think an old style sewing machine. Like the Sleeping Beauty thing, she pricks her finger on the needle thing?
Yes.
That's what it makes me think of. And
I mean, a little bit.
It could be? Like, I forget what the actual thing she pricks her finger on.
I don't know, yeah.
I don't know if that has nothing to do with sewing or not, but if it does, that'd be a really cool thing to bring into this aesthetic because it would work so well. And if they did, that's beautiful.
But like with this scene again, we have that
the shadows. Look at that.
One, the way that it's two separate layers that overlap to create the darkest bits.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I want to see something. Can you go back like a few seconds and then play this scene?
Yeah.
Back to before he fell.
Okay.
They?
And then play it?
They. Yes. Okay. That's interesting. It's too fast for you to see the separation.
But when you go frame by frame,
so
you're like,
it's
wow.
a sense of it's the motion blur, I think, is what's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because that needle
it's really cool.
Those are split seconds.
But there again, we were talking about that horror aesthetic of being able to tear and rip and damage a toy and give the effect of gore without actually having gore.
And not just that, it's not just like the rip and tear too, it's the reassembly as well. Because you can have rip and tear, but also the fact that it's stitched back together in different ways.
Yeah.
It's no longer the same. It's imperfect. It's
Frankenstein. Well,
yeah,
not actually Frankenstein. The modern interpretations of Frankenstein's monster.
Yes, Frankenstein's
not like
monster.
the actual Frankenstein's monster, who was apparently an Adonis.
Oh, that's a whole different podcast. So that transition is so nice.
Patchwork Heart again. Patchwork Heart. You went way back.
I know. I meant to do these ones, the frame by frames, instead of the 10 seconds back.
Can you go? Yeah, actually go back. There's something interesting. Let's see if it is correct. Back just a hair further.
Right here.
Yep. Okay, so the heart is what you see it through.
Yes.
The heart pulls out, and I mean the fabrics all match up, but you can like actively see the middle patch that was
the
kind
last
of a
patch.
purpley gray.
Yeah, that was the last one.
So pulled out, that patch lands on it and finishes the patchwork heart.
Mm-hmm. And so
which is also apparently represented by a teddy bear getting the stuffing stabbed out of it.
Also, I think each needle being stabbed, it's a different piece of fabric being over your line of sight until the last one.
Quite, because it's 4 pieces of... You see 5 pieces of... 5 needles and 4 pieces of fabric until the last one shows up.
Although it still gives that effect, because I mean, there's also probably pieces of fabric we don't see, so...
Yeah.
So I love the shadow play here. Oh, it's so well done. All right, let's go back a little bit and rewatch that. Let's go back from the title card rewatch. All right. Can you guys see why I'm showing the screen now? Because we go back and forth so much, and we go frame by frame, because we just get so invested in everything. But then again, things like the League of Legends videos, every detail counts, and it makes these stuff more fun, which we could definitely do that a whole different time. We're not even gonna get into that right now.
Riot is not a games company.
It's a music company.
It's a music company using a game to advertise their music. let's put that out there right now.
They really were like, yo, I mean, I kind of want to do this gaming thing. And then when that blew up, they're like, okay, well, now I'm going to pursue my true passion, which is music. And I feel like that's what it feels like. Anyway.
Actually, go back. We saw the building there, and we just weren't paying attention.
God damn it.
It dances across the screen, and we were not paying. That's the Eiffel Tower. That's the Eiffel Tower. It's not Tokyo Tower. It's the Eiffel Tower.
That's the Eiffel Tower? I mean,
it's much closer in shape to the Eiffel Tower than the Tokyo Tower.
I mean,
because the Tokyo Tower has I think, correct me if I'm wrong, the Tokyo Tower has a wider, almost dish-like thing at the top.
Hold
on,
I'm looking it up.
We can Google this.
Right now, I've got my phone out in front of me. I'm Googling it. 1 second. Tokyo Tower. Would it make more sense if this was Tokyo Tower, though, because this is called Tokyo Teddy Bear?
It would make more sense if it's Tokyo Tower, and it might be Tokyo Tower, and I might be wrong.
It's all right.
I could very much be wrong.
You and I are not known to being the most correct people. No, this is definitely Tokyo Tower.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yeah. It honestly, both in silhouette,
I think you have a different tower, I think, actually.
I think you're thinking of, are you thinking of the Space Needle? Are you thinking of the Space Needle, or am I just messing?
I think I merged about 4 towers in my head and then said, yes, that. Yeah, I think what I managed to do is I managed to merge the Pearl Tower in Shanghai, the Space Needle, and Tokyo Tower into a single building, and somehow thought that was existed.
I googled the Space Needle is the one with the actual disc. Hold on, I'm pulling this up on my actual screen so y'all can see.
No, it wasn't. Again, no, it was because the Space Needle is like a very solid tower, right?
I mean, yeah.
Like another Tokyo, because yeah. So my mind had the red. Okay, yeah, that is definitely Tokyo Tower. Yeah. Then. I think what am I thinking of?
Honestly, though, in silhouette,
my mind is making a red tower, but it has like a dish, not a big one, but like a slightly flared thing at the top. I don't know if it's real or not. If it is real, and someone knows what it is,
let us know. We're not known to be the
most
correct people.
Yeah, because Space Needle is a lot more solid in that it's not it doesn't have the same crisscross girder effect. Yeah. So it's definitely not the one I was thinking of.
Although when you said Eiffel Tower, looking at these two looking at the silhouette compared to what Eiffel Tower is, they're very similar in silhouette.
So it is Tokyo Tower though.
It is Tokyo Tower.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah.
That's actually great though. I never realized that was Tokyo Tower. All right, continuing.
I am dumb. We have confirmed I am dumb.
Bro, we are both dumb, and we've known this for years. So don't try backing out now.
You're right. And then the silhouette passing across the screen now is also Tokyo Tower then.
Yes. And then it gets stabbed on Tokyo Tower.
Go back.
I love that. I love that so much.
1, that was really clean. 2, that is a very clinically white rune. That's almost that feels clinical.
Oh, honey, just wait till you see what the lyrics are. All right. Mind you,
I will say I called it. Look at the arm.
It is torn, yeah.
Yeah, that's something I caught. It's that arm is torn. Going back even a little bit further. Going back to when the actual letters, though the words are on, the words are flat. Right after the heart pulls out. It almost looks like that's blood. That's so clearly blood.
It's funny because it looks like blood. I mean, because
it also could be fabric. It could be threads.
And it's hard to tell because it's so fast going down the screen.
Yeah.
So we're going frame by frame right now. Mind you, this is not even within a second.
Yes.
So.
Not this one. The back even a little bit further. There was this.
This one?
Here, yeah. When those show up, I know that they are naturally very thin.
Mm-hmm.
When they move quickly, it almost looks like straw.
It honestly, because going frame by frame and watching them form together, I can see it.
When they go fast, it's less so when we go frame by frame like this, but the way they're so crisp, but they zoom in together, it feels like those. It almost looks like straw being tossed about, you know?
Yeah.
It kind of looks like straw. I don't know if that means anything. Just a thing I noticed.
I feel like that's going a little too deep, even for us.
Yeah, no. Odds are 99.9% chance that's just a stylized effect.
Yep.
I just thought it was interesting. You have Mike's Hard Lemonade. I have ginger ale.
That's our aesthetic, though. All right, moving on.
Yeah, torn arm, and then again,
that ripping in the seams is so nice. I love that. That transition is like one of my favorites. It's literally the white shadow of her hands or somebody's hands ripping open the seams to reveal her. Like in this
and then room. Such a like, okay, one, the room is so clinically white. The lighting is purely white, and then
it just
even
adds
the
such
parts
a
of her
contrast.
skin, even the parts of her skin you can see. Okay.
Well, because even look at the
effect makes her skin patchwork, part of the patchwork.
It really does. And like, I just noticed too that, yeah, it's like clinically white and stuff, but I never noticed until I'm picking this apart frame by frame and stuff, that this is not, it looks like a hospital bed, like room, but it's like also not. Like this is, there's a bookshelf and a desk and things that wouldn't be white, but it's almost in this washed out white tone to make her and her outfit pop out more.
Yeah. Also, that bed is a very interesting choice. One, it's in the middle of the wall.
That was also very clinical-esque.
Two, yeah, no, like, I don't know how common these would be, but a wheeled bed with, like, what looks like a metal bar, headboard, and footboard that has a very thin mattress like that.
That does scream, like,
is this like horror asylum vibes? Is that just me?
Ooh, well,
is that just me?
We'll
like,
save that
this
for
is giving me this is giving me slight like Resident Evil style asylum.
This
like
does
maybe
feel like long-term clinical, like a child who's been in here for a long time. Because like, why would you have a desk?
I mean, true. It's like not even like long-term clinical, because there's a like okay, actually, take that back. This could be something that you might see in a... I don't know what hospitals are like in Japan, so I can't say for sure.
Right.
I do know that hospitals in China, the bed probably wouldn't be that almost threadbare.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't even work there. I don't know. It's just...
Honestly,
it's like...
some American hospitals they are, though, I can tell you that. Like...
that's... But the thing is with American hospitals, what you're more likely to see, at least stereotypically, is like those beds that have motors to put you into a sitting position. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's what I think of when I think of hospital.
I've been to several different ER rooms in hospitals, so I feel like I've been on one of these, at least that threadbare. Now, when it comes, I know I've been on one or two of like the actual ones that have like the motorized like call button and everything on it and like up and down. But then there's also like, I don't know, like, so I think I've been on one like this where, because it was an ER, they don't have access to those, and so it was very much
that's fair.
I need to like sort through my pictures because I think I have.
But like also just like the room has been slightly torn apart.
There is a lot of dishevelment. That is honestly a good point. There's
also a water bottle. Hydrate.
Hydrate or dihydrate. So.
But like, also just the way the room is organized doesn't feel hospital to me. That's another thing I would say.
Now it's like.
It doesn't even feel like long-term care, because long-term care will usually put, at least again from what I've seen, I don't have the most experience with hospitals, luckily. When I think of long-term care, it feels like the headboard should be against the wall.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense. Like, again, it's weirdly
mental asylum.
But like specifically I don't. Yeah, it feels like especially like stereotypical horror mental asylum.
Right.
Like specific, which may or may not be real. I don't know, and I'm not going to try to say because I don't know.
Right, we can't speculate on something we don't know.
But that's a time.
Yeah.
Okay. We're really just gonna go straight there, huh?
Yep.
We're really just gonna go. Okay.
I'm gonna stop it right there.
Okay.
We really didn't get far,
We're really just gonna...
Man, we should just watch the whole
aggressive.
thing. We should watch the whole thing through and then like picked it apart afterwards. But
also that's aggressive. Like that's
well, yeah, I'll clue you in on like a little bit of wrong one.
like not even
Like it talks about like you see the razor and then the scissors and the shears and then you got like this literal like giant figurative
that's
scissors.
decapitation type imagery.
Right.
Also, the threads in the background, if I saw that correctly.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And so.
Also, just that is aggressively innocent.
Yeah, because I remember that the lyrics of this is like, you know, finding the scissors sharp enough to like literally like. There was an English version of the song that I listened to because I like seeing the translation, but also somebody putting it into their own words in English, like there's a literal translation and then there's a musical translation. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so the literal translation was like to find, if I remember correctly, to find scissors like to somehow cut through the bear and everything. But in the musical translation, it's find scissors sharp enough to literally slice this look off my face. And because
that feels content warning-y.
Yeah, it's all right. Because this song highly deals with. Also, I should have put a trigger warning in the beginning because I will talk about it.
You're probably gonna have to do that in post.
Right, I'll do it in post. But
this is a reminder. This is a reminder in the audio.
Yes. I will also mention it now though too, because I'll be a little more open about talking about it because this is about the song. This song definitely deals with a lot of like suicide, depression, the frustration of. I like this, especially the song deals a lot about the frustration of depression, because you know you can being depressed is so much more complicated than people think and whatever, and to fight with yourself, because you know part of you doesn't want to go through what you're going through, but you know it's you're fighting yourself, and so this song really deals with a lot of frustration on that to the point where she kind of goes mad, like I'm done with this, you know, like, and it deals kind of suicidal, and it's heavy, man, but you know I'm like all getting all like jumbled in my own words because like she doesn't literally in the song talk about. She doesn't actually want to slice off her own face. It's more of like I want to take this look off my face somehow, but it just kind of... Anyways, let's continue.
It's the feeling of being frustrated at what's happening
and having no sense
yourself.
of control. Yeah.
And you can't do anything about it because it's in your head.
Mm-hmm.
And the first outward expression you think of is like, why do I look like this?
Right. And like,
why are my expressions like this? And then it's just, all right.
It's definitely toxic. Yeah. It's definitely a thing about self-harm. And because this is the topic of the video, so I'll talk about my own experiences with depression and suicide and stuff. So, but like, just that frustration because, yeah, it's within yourself, but also nobody can really help you with that. Granted, there are people that can help you, but as far as like your own internal struggles, no one can see what's going on. No one can feel what's going on, and you don't want to feel bad either. There's a lot of different emotions at play that really just feel so muddled, to the point where this song really calls it, you know, that her whole patchwork thing is going on is because she feels like she's being ripped apart and put back together by her own self, and like someone to come help fill up her like help sew up her seams to not feel so disjointed. And it's like, it's such a really great take on this. And like, and when it goes into the suicide part too, it's very much like, because some people think that like, and it's different for everybody who goes through it, obviously, but everyone thinks that like, oh, it's just a slow decline. It's always just slow decline. It's always like this no bumps and curves. It's just when people go into suicidal tendencies. But there's fight back with yourself. It's not just, okay, this is what it is. This is what I'm gonna do. No, you get frustrated. You get mad with yourself. Why am I doing this? What's happening? What's going on? And you'll see a part in the song where it literally just goes haywire, because this is not only is the song about this, it's a rock song, so obviously it's the perfect motive, not motive, the medium to like show this frustration. And she starts screaming, "Who am I? What's going on?" And it's not just a slow, sad decline into suicidal tendencies. There's a lot of anger. Denial.
I guess I'll chime in with a little bit of my own experience with that as well. It's like, it's the frustration with with feeling that way, and then the frustration that you can't do anything about it, which kind of makes it worse.
Right, and it's like, and it's weird to say that you can't do anything about it, because obviously, like, there's therapy, there's that, and like, obviously to get out of depression is a thing, but also, it's not like a pill you can take. It's not just a simple life hack to get you out of it. It's very much, you feel helpless. That's the word I'm looking for. You feel so helpless because you're fighting against yourself, which feels like a losing battle. I feel like that's the best way to put it. And so, I guess, now that I mention looking at this, like talking more about my experiences and bringing back stuff, the way that she's positioned in this room, could she be trapped inside her own mind?
Yes. It's actually, if we're if we go back,
yep,
to when we can see the whole thing. Also, that looks like it's right at the neck. Sorry.
It does. It does.
Yeah, it does look like it's right at the neck. It's okay. It's very central. The window is very central, but what is okay?
I feel like, in my interpretation so far, I feel like this really could be the inside of her mind.
Yeah, like, well, yeah, especially since she's right in the middle of it.
Especially since you were introduced. She's looking out. You were introduced by her ripping open the scenes to show you inside, like, kind of like she's ripping open the teddy bear to show you inside of her mind. Like, here I am. Help me. Like. Yeah.
It reminds me of one of the lines in the 21 Pilots song "Migraine."
Yeah.
It's like a war behind above your neck and behind your face, something like that. But it's that same effect of, and then it is like, it's both kind of organized, where like you can see where everything's supposed to be.
But nothing's quite where it is supposed to be. Something's not.
It's not even that things aren't quite where they're supposed to be. It's that someone or something has actively thrown things out of place.
Yeah. Like, that's definitely it. And
it's also really interesting how. Oh, you go first.
Oh, it's just like, I was just gonna chime in that you mentioned like the lyrics about a war within your mind, because that's true. Like, it is a war every day, because, people say, obviously struggle every day, but it is truly a struggle, as if like you're fighting every day yourself and no one knows it, to the point where you get so emotionally exhausted and you could have not done anything. You could have been sitting in class all day, and that's boring and exhausting as it is sometimes, but just to be totally burnt out without even doing anything when you're depressed. It really is that way.
Laying in bed for 14 hours. But also just kind of, I guess, a slight side, I don't know. Words are difficult.
Oh yeah, especially when
the way she's looking out.
Yeah.
Into a very brightly lit. Okay. She's looking out into a very brightly lit outside world, like, but there's still shadows, and like, one, there's shadows everywhere too, especially in like the right corner. It's pretty dark, and it's going by that trapped in your own mind analogy. It's like, it's the feeling of like, you might be doing something happy, and you feel like you should be happy, but it's still kind of in the corners there. I don't know if that's reading too far into it.
I can't tell if that's reading too far into it or not. But
probably, but like because it's interesting. I think that's also messing with my head. Is her shadow feels like it's going the wrong way. I'm sorry. Her shadow feels like it's going the wrong way.
This is why we do these. Is because like the little things like that, you're like, that irks me. And they're like, why? And I'm just
I
like,
don't,
it just
but
irks
like
me.
it feels intentional. Okay, it feels intentional, right?
True.
So the lights coming into the room, according to what we see from the shadow of the window, the lights coming into the room from the right to the left.
Yeah.
In through the window, which means her standing in front of the window, her shadow should also go from right to left because that's the direction of the light hitting her.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes sense for the chair to still be going the other direction, but have that weird layered effect, right?
Right.
It makes sense. Why is her shadow going the opposite, like going towards the right instead of towards the left?
We're gonna move on.
That's probably me seeing too much. Scissors. There's that horror imagery.
Right.
Sorry, the horror imagery of the stuffing out. Again, it's gore, blood, harm, without actually having
any harm.
To show blood, to show harm.
I love when they actually, like, some typical, obviously, like, singing in a, like
you have the singing shots, but even with the singing shots, like, there's a sense of...
Those lens flares. Sorry.
There's a sense of, with those lens flares, like, really obscuredness. Like, everything's just a little blurry with the lens flares just constantly there, you know?
True. And also, like...
And actually, we're seeing,
Go ahead.
The seams are torn.
Yep. The seams are torn. It's very warm.
On the teddy bear.
Also, like...
On the teddy bear.
The red... the red background, kind of, like... Which is very
It's not just that the seams are torn. The seams were not torn until we saw the teddy bear getting torn, the teddy bear torn apart.
Was it
and
not?
Now they're torn. I'm pretty sure the seams weren't torn. I might be wrong. No, okay, no, they were.
I mean, not all of them. There's new ones.
Not all of them.
It was
There's
just
new ones.
belly one until now.
Well, the belly one and the one on the forehead, but the forehead one feels wider. There's one around the neck.
I think the neck one was from the last scene.
Arm from when we saw it earlier.
The leg.
The neck from when it got torn apart. And there's another hole on the chest. One on one leg, one on the other. And I can't tell if that's one on the hand or if the hand is just that way.
I think the hand's just that way. But let's continue on, because, like, we're only a minute into this music video, and it's been... Let's check OBS. How long has it been, OBS? It has been 52 minutes of us talking, so... Y'all thought we were joking.
It didn't count the intro bit we did, okay?
True. Alright, let's continue.
Probably close to 30 minutes for a minute. Ooh, the way the eyes shake. I don't know if that's big trapped in the mind energy there.
I know, like, once we mention it, because I obviously have watched this music video many times before on my game, like, by myself, and I listen to the music now. And, like, now that I mentioned it, and I was, like, going through my head about, like... Because you opened up the scenes of that, and then, like, we close it with her, like, longingly looking out. I'm like, honestly, I'm rolling with this trapped in the mind thing.
Well, it's like the feeling of you say it, and then immediately just...
Close yourself off.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It's a great transition, too, honestly. Like, the scenes...
It's also... It's an objectively good transition. Also, an interesting thing is the way the seams are there are very obviously they're not exact, but it adds to that prison effect.
Yes, I was gonna say it's definitely
where
like
you have
trapped
possible prison bars. Like, it's definitely not actual. You know, it's not the same as having like vertical prison bars,
right.
Which is what you would more often expect. But it's the same effect of
just the scenery of these lines across this still give it that ideal of, like,
the idea of obscured, of trapped, of not being able to escape.
Mm-hmm. Oh, here's some good parts of this. I want you to notice how the classmates are depicted in this scene.
They're depicted as kind of just being there.
Faceless placeholders.
Yeah, like again, you're in your head. You don't.
No one else cares at that point.
You don't not care, but you also don't care.
She's detached. She's like,
yeah.
she doesn't feel an attachment to anyone, like an importance to anyone. Like, so why should she find them important? Like, it's very much a detachment.
Yeah.
And so it just adds to the whole scene. So
also, just there's an interesting thing of everything. Like, it was the clock, the calendar, and then the messed up whiteboard.
Oh, what's the?
It almost feels like passage of time. Weirdly,
Right.
That might be me reading too far into things.
Well,
but
I mean,
I would assume that there were active choices for these transitional shots.
I think
like
you're
this
not
one,
wrong because.
Ooh, actually, I can't tell if it's cleaned or if it's almost like the sensor blur.
No, I think it's just it was like cleaned or somebody just kind of messed it up. Because look, this is how many frames this is. But now that you mentioned the whole time thing, I'm definitely leaning on that because what she says to everyone, goodbye everyone, Sensei, I hope you're well. I hope you'll be well. Like, it's literally the passage of time because not only is every day so mundane for her trying to struggle and get through all of that, but it's coming to an end. So like it's almost double-ended sword of like this passage of time. Like, we definitely will have to dig into the song Rolling Girl eventually, because that deals with like literally a girl rolling through every day just trying to get by. So that's why I think of that when talking about this too, but you know, just trying to get through every day as you can. And then, but unlike the other song, to her, it's almost not, it's too much. And so it's not only
overwhelming in its mundaneness.
So it's yes, the passage of time, but also now it's the end of that passage of time.
Can we go back to see what time it is on the clock?
Yes. Is that the one by the 4, the little hand?
Yeah, it's 4:10, give or take.
I might just be because I'm
like
an
it's
American
about the end
bomb.
of a school day.
Right, yeah, like just because I'm an American bomb.
I don't know
like
about
late.
I don't know about but it feels like the end of a school day. And then if we can see what the date of the calendar is.
Right.
Again, that's probably looking too much into it, but you know. Okay, that's a class schedule.
That's a class schedule. That actually makes more sense, honestly. Like, if we're gonna stick with this theory. Right?
Yeah.
Alright, cool. Continue on. That's such an important frame to pause on for me. Like, how she's depicted, how she sees the other nameless placeholders looking down at her.
Mm-hmm.
That is, it's pretty, like, you can see how I attach myself to the song. Like, it's pretty accurate. Like, for someone who goes through depression and, you know, thoughts like that, this is how it feels. Even though even if they don't see anything wrong, even they could not care who you are and stuff, you still feel like they're all looking down at you. It's just that feeling. And so.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I mean, like, it's hard to say anything else because you're right.
Thank you. I don't hear that very often, but thank you.
But like, I mean, like it.
It's hard to add anything to this, right? Because like, it's pretty.
You feel bad, and you feel like everyone is looking at you like you are bad.
And then it's like guilt, which kind of sometimes sends people over the edge of like, well, you know, it's my fault. You know, kind of.
It's the guilt for any number of things.
Right. That kind of skews itself into bad ways. So, continuing on, because I want to get back to more lighthearted things. I mean,
you chose this song.
I know, but I enjoy this, and I feel like it's a great piece to talk about. But I forgot.
It's a great piece. It is.
I didn't expect to get this deep, and honestly, I'm glad we are. But at the same time, I'm like, damn, man. Okay, continue on.
Do either of us have the emotional energy to do this?
I gotta work tomorrow, man. I gotta do it now, if anything. So, give me
right,
another Mike's Hard Lemonade, and we'll talk. So, continuing on. Okay, well,
that was okay.
Again, it's such a great representation because your mind goes into that spiral to the point where you have to go, stop! What are you doing? Like, you know. Like,
you feel like you have to hit something.
Right. Is that, again,
also,
frustration.
The hand is torn.
Mm-hmm. The hand is torn off. And the shoulders, the shoulder's always been that way.
The shoulder's been messed up for a while. We've been new.
So, alright.
Again, there's that.
Right. Like, the metaphoric stuff in this video is so well done. Although dark, it's so well done.
It's not just the metaphorical stuff, it's the intentional obviousness of it.
Yes. Like, it's like, metaphorical, but also very obvious.
Like, I don't know, like, there's an argument to be made that when you're making a metaphor, you should make it subtle and make it thought-provoking, whatever.
Not necessarily.
They don't care.
Right. Sometimes, I mean...
they're kind of right to not care. When it's something like this, you don't want to leave it open to interpretation a lot of the time.
Right.
Leave it open to interpretation can be very dangerous.
Like, such a nice shot.
But, like, I don't even know if dangerous is the right word, but it's like, sometimes having it just being really out there and really obvious in front of you is like...
Well, because I think also, too, this is later in the song. I think that the beginning...
Yeah, the metaphor is probably a bit played out by this, like, well, by this point.
This is just honing in, like, kind of also... What's the word I'm looking for? Alcohol's hitting me now. So, like... like, trying to
It's a little bit of shock factor.
A little confirm what they were trying to portray before if it wasn't that obvious before.
If it's not clear...
then make it clear, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, like, when they showed the beginning, like, 'cause this is the second part of us kind of in this room with some sort of, like, scissors or needles and stuff.
I'd also like to go back to the front, to the start of the song. I want to check something.
Well, we'll replay the whole thing without stopping afterwards. So, let's go back a little bit and then rewatch. So... and, like,
everyone's disappearing, leaving.
No one matters.
No one stays.
You know what? I never thought of it that way. For me, it was more... That's a great way of putting it, is that no one stays. Because that definitely, I feel like, could play into this, but also that she's kind of blocking everybody out, too.
It's probably a combination. Like, I don't know which would be more accurate.
It's, again, like, both... detachment. It's...
Well, it's both, because it's like...
I like yours better.
You have her... fair enough. Like, you have her directly saying, "Goodbye, everybody. Teacher, I hope you do well." And everyone still leaves.
Mm-hmm.
We're like, for us, having seen the video, right, it's super obvious what that means.
Right.
And probably in her head, a lot the same way, it's super obvious what she's saying.
Oh, my God.
But...
that could
this might be me reading too much into it. I will say that so many more times. But it kind of makes sense, that idea of you say something you think is really obvious that everyone should be able to pick up on. You do something that should be really freaking obvious.
And no one gets it.
And no one gets it. No, like... it's
that last subtle cry for help.
It doesn't even have to be subtle. It does not even have to be subtle.
Right. And, like...
and I think in this case, it's almost... more intended to not be subtle, where it's like sometimes, or maybe you don't think it's subtle.
Well, yeah, because like think of it this way, because I just realized that what if she like says that at the end of class? That wouldn't seem out of place. Yeah, I mean, weird. She usually doesn't say that. That's kind of weird. Like, oh well, okay, have a great night too. Thanks for talking to me. But that was like a cry for help from her.
That was the thing. That was the little bit, and then everyone's because. Again, to you it might be obvious, to me it might be obvious. We've watched the video in this case. I know I've done stuff in a similar way where it's like, it feels like it should be really obvious. It feels like such a blatant, in-your-face cry for help, but only to you.
Right.
Right? Like,
and it's because no one can see you. Like, see inside your mind, only you. And so that's where the frustration lies. It's like, how do you convey what's going inside your own mind to other people? How do I do this? Like, because it's so difficult, and then you don't want to bother people and this and that and burden, so you just kind of say, oh no, never mind.
It's the nope, I'm fine. It's cool.
Whew, oh god, don't again, rolling girl. Oh, don't even get. All right, cool. Moving forward. After the
we are both too
Yes.
Anyways,
we're both too much. Yes.
But like I don't know, that was my first thought seeing that. It's like it's people are leaving at the end of the day like nothing happened when she feels like
she's losing control of everything.
It's also that why not I don't know feels like why not people are leaving without caring I don't know anymore.
It's like something cause why not?
I don't know. It's the timing of the lyrics with the way that I don't know.
Let's continue.
And it's not just that they're walking out, it's that they're just disappearing.
Right.
It's like
can we appreciate that shot too, the swivel shot, like the pan going around?
Oh yeah, this pan is really nice.
It's so nice. See, that's our usual commentary, guys. We're just like, I like that pan
our
shot.
Our usual commentary is, I like that pan. I feel like this one cannot be the first one released.
Yeah, you know what? I might do this one a little bit afterwards. We gotta do something a little more lighthearted. You know what? We'll do like Karakuri Pieroe or something more lighthearted.
Yeah, we have to do something lighthearted before this, because this, like, going from introducing our history together and like how we've worked together
to a song about suicide and depression.
Suicide and depression. We both have issues. Here's all of them.
We both have some expertise input, but still, we're just gonna continue off on that.
This feels like a leap.
True. Yes. Well, so if everyone confused now, we're gonna. That's the reason why we're gonna put this off. But it's just for me. I loved the transitions and stuff. It was so really good. And then I just forgot that like how dark it was because I knew it was dark. But
I mean, I've done that as well. I've watched the video for I think it's My R or whatever too many times for my own good. If I'll be honest, because like when you hear the tune, you don't think about it, and so you get the tune stuck in your head, and it's like, oh. Yeah.
That's what a lot of songs in other languages do. You're like, damn, this is catchy. And then you're like, and that's not all the time, but like definitely like I got Romeo and Cinderella stuck in my head and I looked at the lyrics and I'm like, oh.
Yeah. My R is another one like that where it's aggressively, it's somewhat metaphorical, somewhat blatant. It's a bit more metaphorical than this one, but like it's a very dark song, and I know people will know the tune probably. Dun da 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 dun dun da 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 da. That one. If anyone knows it, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about.
And they'll just be like, same though.
But it's like it's a song that I've probably watched the music video for too many times because it's like, oh yes, this song good, or I've watched a lyric video for it too many times, and it's like, yes, song, tune, good, happy. Yes? No.
Slap, no. Alright. I do want to finish this song eventually because I do want to go over the lyrics, or we might just... God, we might even just have to do the lyrics a whole different episode.
Let's get through this. Let's get through this.
Because, like, I'm going to check OBS. It's going to be over an hour. This is going to be posted some other time. We'll save this for some other time.
This is my... Like, we probably could film the whole thing at once and post it as a two-parter.
True, although I do have things I need to do tonight, so...
That's fair.
I do have work tomorrow, because I'm leaving at Thursday, but you know that. Anyways, continue.
Also, this is the most active she's been while singing, if that makes sense.
Yes, I do know that. Like,
which kind of fits that cry for help.
That's like, I love that shot.
That's a hell of a shot.
Right, I know, like oh.
Like, just from an aesthetic perspective, we're not even getting into the possible metaphorical aspects of it.
Right. I'm like, bruh. Oh. Why didn't I get into Vocaloid sooner?
My first thought was broke.
Let me just take another swig of my alcohol 1 second.
I didn't mean that as a call out. I meant that more as like, no, I feel that sometimes you just don't buy a game. And then all of a sudden, 10
Bitch,
fucking,
many people got into
I don't
vocaloid
know.
not through games, though. They were, like, on the internet, and, like, I knew of them, but I just never, like, got into them. But now I'm just like, yo, please, give me some more vocaloids. let me look at all the YouTube videos. But yeah, back to this, like, I just love that, like, that jump out of his own self-body.
Yeah. Like, you just... Also, it's an interesting... Yeah, it's the feeling of falling, and then...
Drowning. It's like drowning, you can't swim up kind of
Okay,
thing.
it's not just that. Okay. See, the way I don't know if I can... I might be reading too much into it. But...
Disclaimer, guys. We might be reading too much into it.
I don't know how often
surprise.
I've said that this
right.
freaking episode, and
hey,
someone's probably going to blast me for it.
Take a shot every time we say we might be reading too much into this. As we say, as we're how long into this? OBS, tell us how long? An hour and 10 minutes. We're an hour and 10 minutes.
That's not bad.
Only gotten through two. For us, it's not bad.
We've gone longer.
We're 2 hours and 30 seconds. Not 2 hours. 2 minutes and 30 seconds into this, and we're an hour and 10 minutes talking.
But no, but like the way it was shown is like it's falling, but it's also almost a sense of safety,
right? Like
and comfort, and like.
And someone who like
peace?
I sang opera for a couple years and this and that, and I did theater and all this stuff. Like just the fact her voice went so soft, it was almost like,
it's when it's very lullaby.
Well, not only that, but it's almost like I have no more energy. I've almost given up. Like, what do you want from me? Like, it's very, I have no more energy left. I'm done. But also, it's almost that feeling of, it could be also interpreted as safety too. Who knows? Like,
but like, it's not just the vocal tone had a big part of it, but also,
well,
she fell into a cross, the X of thread, right? And then right there, she not only fell into the X of thread, she then is encircled by it and goes into the fetal position.
She's like encapsulated in a bubble.
Yeah.
Okay, but also you said it's very calm and stuff. Let me finish that. Let's finish that quote first. Like, I was mean to stop it there, trust me. Like the loss of control, the frustratingness. Like, literally here she's screaming, who is she? What am I doing? You know? This video, this song.
Empty room. That's.
Yeah, definitely.
Walking away from that.
Despite how dark this song is, I definitely think, especially in this last couple frames,
up.
It's honestly a happy
there's
ending.
no rips.
Yeah,
there's no rips.
Her heart is patched up. Look it.
Yeah, I think with the way that ends, it almost feels like we've had enough. We've had the trigger warnings, right?
Yes.
It feels like you go through the suicidal thoughts and they're there and you have them and you get really close to doing it, and for one reason or another, like, you're asking yourself, why not? I don't know. Why not? I don't know. Why not? I don't even know how many times she says that.
Mm-hmm.
And then
3, but continue.
for one reason or another, you don't.
Yeah, exactly. And like, I mean, as someone who's had several suicide attempts and stuff, like, it, like, to when you do talk yourself out of it, like, there is a sense of, like, of happiness and pride that you did overcome that. You did, you're happy. A sense of what's a better word for, like, accomplishment, pride, like, of
relief.
Relief's a good one. Yeah, that one. And like, satisfied? I don't know. I think relief's the best one. Content. I guess that's content.
Content. Yeah.
Relief is the best one though. Like, it's very much I'm proud of myself for getting myself out of that. I'm good. Like, for now. So, It's definitely like, whew,
I
especially
might also just went to a darker place.
like, what if she actually did commit?
Well, we were talking about the patch over the heart,
Right.
right? Where does she stab with the red thread earlier?
The heart. The lyrics said.
Yeah.
The lyrics literally said that like, find a needle large enough to pierce my heart. Like.
Yeah, it's like I can't tell. I guess that's partially the point where it's somewhat ambiguous. The argument, a very good argument, can be made for she didn't, and that's the reason why there's a patch over the heart. She's like, it's all right, not this time. I'm not gonna do it. Something like that. It's weird because like it almost also the way the patch is almost feels like a hole in the heart.
Right. For some reason, like I've been reading the Five Nights at Freddy's novels recently, like the Fazbear Frights, and there's literally a couple of them that have to do with like organ donors, and for some reason my mind went, what if she like suicided but then was an organ donor? But like that's reading way too much into this.
That's definitely a take a shot, everybody. If you are of legal drinking age,
otherwise it's water shots for everyone else. So
actually, no, it's still water shots, even if you're legal drinking age.
Oh my gosh.
Hydrate.
Oh my gosh.
But like, there's this like weird melancholy of.
Definitely, this ending is like, you could take it either way.
Yeah, because it's like fixed up visually, but there's still this big patch over the heart.
Well, could we also talk about how the fact that
But,
she was
like,
clinging onto this teddy bear this entire video, and
yeah,
now she's
and then
walking away
let's
from it,
go with walking
and it's
away
all
from
patched
it.
up?
Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing?
I don't know.
Is it good? Is it good? She's found some way or another to at least
Cope
with things, and therefore no longer needs that patchwork teddy bear.
Right.
Or is it a goodbye to the patchwork teddy bear?
Mm-hmm.
It's a weirdly, like, I think I get a melancholy out of the ending where it's like you're not sure, and like you will never be sure exactly
Right.
what she did.
It's almost like
after
melancholy,
that.
but also like content melancholy, because like either way, like, and that's just more of like a purely like directing standpoint. It does feel final, but you don't know in what way. Like,
Yeah. It's a finale. It's a the story is over. This story is over. Whether or not her story continues
is the
doesn't
question.
matter,
Right.
because this little story has ended.
Mm-hmm. All right, so now we're gonna play the whole video again, and I'll just
we're going to probably talk over it,
yes, but
we are not going to
the
pause
lyrics.
it, because if we pause it, we will spend another 2 hours
Oh
on it.
my god!
We might spend a good long time talking about the lyrics anyways, but
Also, I might do this, and then we might watch it one time with the. So this will have the literal translations, and then I might shift over to the Jubiphonic one that has the musical translation, which I think was really well done.
yeah, interpretations are so nice.
It's so nice. All right. Like straight from the start, Mom and Dad, I'm sorry for everything, and like
That's okay.
like that's literally the first line.
Okay,
Like she's writing out a suicide note.
yeah.
You can't see me, but I'm
sends
headbanging
it-
right now because
Yeah,
this song
she
slaps,
sends it
though.
and then she sends it and then stomps on it to like not be able to get anything back.
Please fill the gaps in my scenes. Like that, like
It's a cry for help.
it really is, and like how this song ties us into a teddy bear. Like the literal scenes and ripping apart and putting back together of someone feeling mental torture. It's so well done. Like, goodbye, everyone. Take care, teacher. Like, this is...
Oof. Okay, those lyrics.
I know, like, she's been hurt, so, like, there's some backstory, obviously, but, like, that specific lyric... Like,
it's also the idea of, I guess, going back to that, saying so when people still leave, it's like, getting... That might actually be more of a, she has directly said it before,
sorry,
and someone mocked her for it.
Yeah, I said we wouldn't pause, but, like, also, as far as, like,
no
listening
one...
quality, like... I don't want you to be, like, talking while she's, like, screaming in the background.
Oh, that's fair. Sorry about that, everybody. But, no, like, the way that that's shot almost makes me feel like, what does honesty get you? Honesty doesn't pay. As she is loomed over by these people as if mocking her.
Well, that almost, like, because there is a lot of still like, even to this day,
Well,
even though we have a lot of mental health, there's still a lot of stigma of, like,
also,
oh,
remember,
get over
this isn't America.
This is true. This is very true.
This is...
And also the fact that, you know, Rin is, in the universe, she's a child. Like,
yeah.
Most people don't take children seriously when they do get depressed. Like, although...
It is that feeling of... You go first.
Yeah, well, I was just saying, like, although we, even in this world, we're a little more open about mental health and stuff, to this day, when kids try to say, oh, hey, like, I think this is what's happening to me, and then they are always pushed off to the side just because they're young. They say they don't know what's happening with them. But let's be honest, no matter what age we are, we know what's happening with our bodies. And even, like...
You know what's happening in your head even if you can't put words to it.
Right, and even if it is just some sadness and stuff, still take it seriously. Because I could rant about that, but this really does feel like she tried to convey what was happening, or what was going on. Even if this isn't strictly about depression and suicide, if this is maybe about trauma itself, if she tried to tell somebody about the trauma and that she got mocked, bullied, invalidated, this is what it feels like. Like, I feel like this shot right here,
yeah,
like, which just kind of sent her over the edge. So, but yeah, that whole what does honesty get you? Honesty doesn't pay. What does honesty get you? Honesty doesn't pay. Like, that over and over again, like, that's tumbling around in her mind. Mm-hmm. So, like, oh, anyways, back. We'll go back a bit. Headbangs, because the song honestly slaps.
It does slap. Like, it absolutely does. Also, the part where things are, people are leaving, it's literally, come on, tell me some wisdom.
Right, and no one is helping.
Yeah, it is the act of asking for help.
Oh, just to please fill in the gaps in these scenes, like, make me feel whole again. So sad.
Okay, this bit.
It's all torn off. If you're so like this.
Yeah, that is the most. This is the point where she's actually the most physically expressive.
The scenes have split and torn apart. Oh my god. No one help. Like, you know, help me fill the gaps in my scenes. Nope, never mind. The scenes are torn apart. Like, it's so. I felt the life spark on the screen. It's almost as if she's looking for another coping mechanism now. Like, it doesn't seem like she went through with it, but it definitely seems like now she's looking for different coping mechanisms. She's just, like, trying to find anybody.
It's weird. Like, that ending is...
It's still making me feel like I don't know what's going on.
Because I think there's a thing there. Like, she absolutely could be going to look for the different coping mechanisms, anything like that. It also makes... It still has this weird feeling of...
Sorry, I'm looking at the comments.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Someone says, imagine like, looking at this video and you get an ad for Build-A-Bear Workshop, and I'm like, oh, oof.
Nah, mate, we're not gonna do that. Please no. That gets
Oh yeah, and also especially like I love the fact she does upload these with like the PS4 graphics, because in some of these it's really hard to tell even with these graphics just because of like how the Vocaloids like models are made, but you can't, sometimes it's hard to tell if they're crying or have tears in their eyes. Karakuri Pioroe, I just noticed on one of the scenes that she has tears in her eyes, and in this one like they said, at one point you can never tell if the angle in the run's eyes if there's tears or she's actually on the verge of crying, and I'm like, oh man.
Yeah.
But anyways, here's the Juby Phonics version.
Oh, you found it immediately.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, with that interpretation of the lyrics, it could be running away and not suicide.
You know what? You make a very valid point. But
it's weird. It's because like if the lyrics directly out of the
it's just escapism. I think it's the biggest thing.
It could. I mean, but like that's kind of the thing of like either way is a form of escape.
Right. I guess I just went the way I did just because of personal experience. But now that you mentioned it, these definitely could.
But like no, but like it still could very much be that, because it's like, again, going back to it could be a reference to spirits and ghosts as well.
Right.
There's a lot of things you could like. There's a lot of ways to interpret, especially those opening lines, because no matter what you interpret it as, it is a message of someone leaving.
Mm-hmm. Yes, definitely. It's the I'm gone. Yeah, like push over the limit, gone. Because in the literal translation and stuff, it's like brother and sister, I'll see you soon, and then for this one, I'll see you around, makes it seem way more that she's like running away.
See you around feels like running away. See you soon feels more final.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think that's the difference.
Which
is like
funny.
You can interpret it as more final, or you can interpret it as more. That almost feels a little bit on the hopeful side.
Right. Which is kind of funny because, like, in a very English language standpoint, they should mean the same thing. But when you, like, in the actual language itself, when put into things like this, like, one switch of the words and you're like, oh no, what's happening? Like,
yeah, I don't know. It's weird because, like, that translation makes it almost hopeful. The previous translation feels very final.
I could see myself naming this episode No Longer Reaction, that you reacting, but it's just gonna be a full-on blown 2-hour analysis of this. And I'm here for it. Alright. Wasn't
this already an analysis?
This is true. I didn't expect anything different. Continuing! This still confuses me. Also, I see we're using the Switch graphics.
Yeah, that's... Okay, that particular... I don't remember what the exact lyrics were there. That one hits a little bit of the feeling of... I don't know why something's wrong, so things shouldn't be wrong.
It's the depression frustration.
Yeah, but like it's specifically
not
that
depression,
feeling of...
It's the mental health frustration.
It's specifically that feeling of, why am I anxious? I have nothing to be anxious of. Why am I depressed? I have nothing to be depressed about.
Right.
And like, it's the why can't I pay attention? It should be easy.
Right.
Why can't I stay awake? I slept 8 hours. It's like all of that bundled into like a really succinct line, and it kind of hit really hard, especially in English.
Right.
Mostly because it's easier for me to understand English.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh,
for us to get what the song's going at, yeah. which makes me appreciate the song even more. Like, honestly,
yeah, that one just kind of
this
like,
song really
uppercut.
Yeah, because of this Vocaloid game, there's songs that I've loved playing, and then I look into the literal translations and then the musical interpretations, and then I'm like, wow, I love this even more because I know like what's about this and that, and I can appreciate the song so much more, and like it's on my playlist on like my Amazon Music and all this, and like
I'd like to note that most of the songs that we've looked at, as a note, this isn't the first time we've done this whole analysis for way too long thing.
We did a whole, I think the first one I did for you for Vocaloid was the Vocaloid, at least, because we've done this for other ones, but was Ghost Rule, because oh lord, that was my
that one was a whole thing.
We need to do an actual analysis on that, because even though we've done already a semi-analysis by ourselves, like the lyrical analysis of that one would be amazing.
I would just like to note that, one, I agree with all of your choices, and two, all of our choices are dark.
Pretty messed up. No, I realize that when going through, it's like, if I want to show these people my songs I like are, and my Vocaloid songs, but then they're gonna ask me what they are and like what they mean, and I'm like, well, hold on.
You see, it's that feeling of yes, I enjoy this music.
Although there was a really great I was a video on like explaining Vocaloid to your friends and family, and it was a hilariously done video of like of what are those called when they're like robotic voiceovers, like an Alexa or something,
like, I don't know,
but anyways, it was one of those, and he's like, and it was like, if you immediately blow this off because it's in a different language, then first of all, translations are a thing, and this and this and that. And also, y'all of you be singing Despacito like, Des, and it's just like the song, and then like a fast forward or person like somebody headbanging at a concert.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
no, absolutely.
That's so true.
I mean, people still don't know what the Macarena was about.
Oh my god, you're so right.
I'm sorry,
and that was
play
in
that
English.
song at middle school dances and in elementary schools.
There's a lot of English songs people have no idea what it means. So like, calm down, people. So like, let us enjoy these amazingly well written songs in Japanese that have some of the best stories I think I've ever listened to. Mm-hmm. But just going through my Vocaloid playlist right now, I've got Rolling Girl, which is about a girl that is hard just to get through a single day of life and just asks to wake up the next morning. So that's kind of dark. Ghost Rule, which is literally that I've lied
pretty
so
much.
It's so much in my life that I'm no longer know who I am. I'm literally just a wandering ghost, a shell of lies. So that's interesting. Dune, or Sand Planet, which I'm still trying to figure out.
Apocalypse vibes?
It's very apocalypse, where they're just reminiscing on like what life used to be. It's very the vibes I get from that. Bless Your Breath, which, that one is very much like, I still need to look into more translations and stuff into it and like do my own analysis, because that one, it talks about like almost the first couple lines is almost like criticisms on like, I'm nothing more than a Frankenstein of someone who sings, and like, this amalgamation of like that makes a song, but it's still a form of art. Like, it's pretty much what like I think what the song is about. Like, and me and you will go through that sometime. Karakuri Pieroe. Oh my gosh, this song gives me so many feels, but it's basically because it hits way too close to home. But it's basically the literal line is like, round and around and round I go, like chasing after this friendship or relationship that you don't want me. Like, like, I'm chasing after somebody who doesn't want me, basically. And you keep giving me the runaround. I'm out of breath. Like, stop. Like, I'm done. And, I'm hurt. And it's like, oh.
Yeah.
It hurts.
Yeah.
Bring It On, which is, I'm just a sucker for some good EDM. And that one's a lot more happier. That one's a lot of, like, when we're older, things will be different. And
that's one of 5?
It still has some darker undertones, because they're like, you're saying, oh, well, we're all messed up this and this and that, but the world's different when you grew up. Now it's our turn to grow up. So like, it's more of a happier theme, although it does talk about like.
All right, so we're gonna count it as half a happy song.
Here's the good one. You can have 1.5 now, because this is Sweet Magic. It's another Rin song, and it's basically it's talking about bringing the sweetness and wonderfulness of childhood into adulthood. Love that.
1.5 out of like 7 at this point.
And then 39 music. Sankyo Music. That one is just like, it's just a groovy song about being groovy. Like,
All right. So we'll have 2.5 out of 8.
Hibana, which I have not actually looked up a proper music interpretation of or seen the translation. But I'm pretty sure that has to do. It's not. I can already know it's not. It's not happy. I'm pretty sure it's about. It's more of like a, like the song like is it Jordan Sparks, like Love Is a Battlefield vibes. It's more of like that.
So that's like what, 2.5 out of 10. And
then I've got Thou Shall Not. Was it Thou Shall Not Have Taken Thee, which it's very fun. It's more of like a story of like the king who just kind of throws out his minions like, go take that from me. It's like this and that. Just, but we're not going into that one. That one has a really long.
That's still like 3.5 out of 11.
Electric Angel, which is about basically we are just robots, like we are just code, but somehow you guys have given us life and a heart and like you've taught us how to love, and I'm just like, oh, it gives me all the feels.
You've gone to 4.5 out of 12. You're almost at half.
Okay, and then
half positive.
Dancing Night. Oh, not Dancing. I'm not sorry. That's on the cover, but Remote Control, which is literally just about being a slave to the remote controller.
All right, so now we're back to 4.5, I think, out of 13 now.
And there's a couple more, but that's the only ones I want to talk about. So yeah,
4.5 out of 13 were positive.
So I love these, and then it's just like, but then like I want to show people these songs.
But at the same time, I do vibe with that. I also vibe with that.
Oh my gosh, but some of these stories are so good. And then it's like, but I know once I show people these, they're going to be like, oh, so what are they about? Since obviously you're learning Japanese, this and that. Obviously they don't realize how hard of a language it is, but, they don't know I also look up, like, the English translations, but regardless. But there's,
on
like,
the one hand,
how do I bring up that this rock song is about a girl that, like, looking for escapism from the world?
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
That's a time. Yeah.
Either way, whatever. I mean, people listen to weirder songs, so if people are gonna get their panties in a knot of like Japanese music from vocaloids, then like whatever, man. Anyways, back to this. Oh, so well put.
That's got like 3 or 4 meanings there.
Mm-hmm. And like when I find these English translations and musical interpretations, I feel like again I get a deeper respect and understanding for these songs because they're so well put. So well put. That's different than you expected, but
I will say the way they phrased the goodbye to everyone bit felt much more final in a weird way.
Yeah.
See, this bit visually is
it's just such
really
a juxtaposition, especially with the music too, along with that like separation, because you have like
it's weird the order of things that happen. Okay, so my thought, right, the way I interpret it is she's walking up to the edge of a building.
I guess that's how it can be interpreted. Yeah.
Well, like no. I mean, if you watch the background, that's actually what she's doing.
Oh my gosh, it changed. I didn't realize that. You know what?
She's walking to this like guardrail section. You can see like there's a bit she's walking to the edge of a building. She just is, right? And so this part is weird because it's like so in the context of the story,
it's almost like it's that moment of like when people freak out and cry before like whether they go through something like that or not. It's like it's the mind self-doubting.
Yeah.
That's
and it's like there's but like another interesting thing to note is that I think at this point the last thing we see is that the teddy bear is still messed up.
Was it? Hold on.
The last time we see the teddy bear, I think, is still messed up here. It's a bit back.
Yes, it is.
Still messed up.
Ears.
All right, so this is.
So.
Yeah.
Also, can I
Ears,
also, like,
gashes.
Not just like. What I think makes that scene more powerful is also like the music alongside of it, because you have like. It's going so hard and it's building, and then it just like it.
And it just drops.
And it drops. And not even the drop you expect. It pulls back so much that it almost has a shock factor of, because it's not what you expect. It's so soft compared to, like, you've got this like it building. It's almost like underwhelming to the point where it has a bigger impact.
It's underwhelming, but at the same time, it feels appropriate.
Right. Yeah, I mean,
where it is that moment of quiet. It's like that panic, that quiet introspection, that moment of just like pause,
almost self-reflection.
Yeah.
So it could just be the alcohol talking, but let's continue.
Hey, if you're saying it and I'm saying it, it can't be the alcohol. Because you see, I don't drink, which means.
Yeah. I mean, true, but it doesn't mean we're sane. I mean, I know
this
all
bit
these.
Here is like.
I know all the beats in this little section because I've been playing this level on hard. This whole. Oh, trust me. You get real up and close and personal with them. But what were you saying about this? Sorry.
So, but again, like this bit is like, it's weird because in the order of the story, she goes to the edge, stops, goes back, and then walks in a different direction.
Yeah, but you also have to consider that maybe some of what we've been seeing have been flashbacks or like recalling.
Right.
And she could have been in this spot the entire time.
Things are happening. Yeah. Again, I don't know what order things are happening in,
or which ones are real or not. Because I think we were established that the white room is inside her mind. Yeah,
what's real, what isn't. It's this interesting case of like, if you take the order of events as reality, it's a little bit more hopeful. Mm-hmm. Because she walked away.
Right.
If you don't,
then
goes.
All right.
Yeah. I don't know. I just find this bit really interesting.
Oh, that lyric hurt.
And then back to those lyrics that make it. And then just the room being empty is also like.
Patch it up without me then. How would you interpret that? Because
I don't think it mattered.
Her?
Huh?
Because this whole thing about patching it up, like, she's been talking about herself. So.
The line at the start you were confused about.
Maybe. This is very. The fact that I could have been confused is always a very high option.
Well, it's not even that you would have been confused. It's just that it takes a long time for it to get back to this, and it could very much be this is the callback of. Can we like get back to that first line about the template?
Oh, where she says literally like, "I'll find a pattern, any size will do."
Yeah. It's literally. Right, now go back to the end. Anybody will do.
Wow. Okay.
So there's definitely some supposed, especially with his interpretation, there's supposed to be some sort of symmetry is not the right word, but I'll say symmetry there of
I'm looking at the comments and like Tokyo Teddy Bear, Romeo and Cinderella. Wow, Japan, I like how you're making really dark songs the titles will lure kids in. And then some people have their own interpretations, obviously, because like anybody who likes the song wants, it's a very deep song. You want to know what's going on, and like
yeah.
this person says Avia Tunes. Hearing the English version of the song really brings out the meaning. She's tired of all the pain, but she also wants a sign or someone to care about her. And that's what really depression's about.
Yeah.
Like, I suffer from panic attacks, very on and off frequency. And it's really hard, especially because when you know the signs you're going through it, you want help, but at the same time, you don't want anybody to see you. You don't want anybody to touch you. Like, it's very much, you want help from somebody, but at the same time, you don't want to ask anybody for help. You don't want to burden anybody. And it's you want someone to care about, kind of, and then she's crying out for help, but no one's listening. Like,
yeah, I think that no matter what, that vibe of nobody's listening is pretty clear.
Yes, we haven't touched on that, but yeah, it's definitely like no one's listening, or at least
we definitely touched on it.
No one picked up the signs.
Yeah, no one picked up the signs. I think one thing with those two lines in particular, my mind decided to stick with that.
We have somebody with a very different interpretation than us. Tokyo Teddy Bear, to my understanding, is about a girl who thinks she hasn't matured enough, acting too childish to the point where she thinks she's a failure and wants to run away from home for her family's sake. So she isn't holding them back by taking care of her as much as I guess. I don't think so. I mean,
it's too. There's too, with the visuals along with it. It's too. See, okay, that can still work.
I mean,
that can still work along with our interpretation. Because it's going back to the thing that you said of, like, people don't listen to kids when they really should.
Yes.
I think if you put those two things together where it's a kid who feels like something's wrong, no one's listened, and I don't know.
Did you write this comment saying this is the giving of Danganronpa Angel vibes?
I told you. But no, because it's still in my head. Going back to those two lines,
right.
What to me it feels like is like you start with trying to figure out how to fit. It's like I will try to fix myself in some way, shape, or form. Any way I can, any size will do, right? As long as I can still fit back into place.
Right. Like I can still be able to.
And at the end, it's like
grow from this. Like I don't know. Like
it's yes, but like it's like I can still be of value in some way. I can still function, anything like that. And at the end, it's like it's the feeling of, I guess, being unseen. Anyone else could fill my spot in the
right.
If that it's like
that's a great. Honestly, that's a great move. I never really realized that one. Like I really like that interpretation of it, but I just realized this comment to somebody with the lyrics of "Can I change? Can I stay the same? Fade away, but save who I am inside." Like this line is sorry. This commenter said, this line is incredibly relatable to me. Someone who just wants to not exist anymore because they doubt their own strength to change, or even if it's okay to continue on as they are broken. The best thing would be to change or just die, but either way, to lose that yourself permanently when you deep down still want to live. Like, it's... Whew, it really...
Yeah.
Like, that really sums up that part of it, of, like, fade away, but yet still keep who I am inside. Like, to change, but yet I want to be who I am. Like... But yet, I want to be okay, like...
It feels...
Because no one's taking care of me, no one's looking out for me, Like, what do I need to do? I'm just trying to be myself.
I think, yeah. It feels very much, like, personal.
It really is. And, like, that's what some of these, like, Vocaloid songs do, and I think that's why... Going off on a slight tangent, I think that's what makes Vocaloid great, and why so many people not only listen to it, but, like... producers really flock to it, is because they don't have to have a certain singer attached to some of these songs that are incredibly like sensitive and deep and like incredibly touchy. And so like to have
vocally,
it fills that literal void to have someone sing out these words that no one else really will until now. And that's why like people in the comments make it like too like, yeah, somebody up here, man, vocaloids really make the creepiest stories into happy songs, or like just or really dark songs. Like, yeah, because vocaloid gives us a chance to really put a singer in when we really either don't want to put them in the uncomfortable position or we can't, you know, like.
It reminds me of, so we've mentioned that I'm a photographer, I'm an art student.
Mm-hmm.
And it reminds me of a thing that I've run into multiple times, that I know classmates have run into, friends have run into, where it's like, you want to make something, and you have something in your mind, but it's so personal, and it's so dark, and it's so, like, heavy, and you get nervous and anxious to make that art, even though you really want to make it, because it feels too personal.
Right. It's like putting a piece of your soul, like, out there to be judged.
It's a combination of that, and at least for me, it's like, you don't want to burden your audience with it.
Right.
It's like, one, it's super fucking personal, and you kind of don't want other people to know sometimes, and two, you feel like if you put it out there, it's going to burden someone else, and it's just like, with Vocaloid, like, you kind of have that carte blanche of
anonymity, like
no one needs to know it's you.
Right.
But you can write the stories and do the art you want to make.
It's such a wonderful outlet of creativeness, and like
it changes from this will be a burden, or this will be too personal, to I am anonymous, someone might need to hear this.
Right. And like a lot of people,
it changes how you view it when you're making it.
Yeah.
At least that's what I would feel like if I were making it, where it's like,
and I know a lot of people in the comments, especially since I've been getting into Vocaloid, like a lot of people find these in the comments like that some of these songs really help them get through them. Obviously, even they didn't speak the language, but like especially in the Rolling Girl song, I saw in the comments when I was going through different covers and stuff, because the person who made them, Wawaka, rest in peace, he's no longer with us, and people said, you know, rest in peace, Wawaka, your songs literally saved my life and stuff. And like I'm getting all choked up because like that song is honestly so wonderful. We're gonna have to talk about that sometime. Mm-hmm. But it just shows that like you don't have to feel like people will see you differently for putting out something like that, because there's that anonymity. And you're seeing Hatsune Miku, you're seeing Rin, you're seeing, you know, Rin, you're seeing Len, you're seeing Teto, you're seeing Kaito, you're seeing that singer, that Vocaloid. You're not seeing the person behind it. You do know there's a composer, but at that moment you don't see them. You see them, and that's why even if someone doesn't like it, it doesn't feel like a big attack on yourself, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel like that's why it makes it important. But
anonymity is a strange and powerful thing.
It really is, and I think that's why like
God.
The internet's become, I will always say this, the internet is a wonderful and horrible place at the same time. Like a strangely amazing place. Like it's crazy because obviously a lot of bad things come out of the internet, but at the same time there's so many good things that have come out of the internet, and I feel like sometimes it gets overshadowed about some of the horrible things that happen through technology. But regardless, like being able to go to chat rooms and talk to people who have the same problems under you know, a false username or something, and really get to like open your heart out there and feel like no strings attached. And like that's just one example of like really how the internet and anonymity has really helped in general, like has really been so important as far as like mental health goes. But we can talk for another 20 minutes. We are rounding 2 hours now. So is there any last things you want to say? Did you like the song?
I did like the song. I think it's a song that, you know, I don't know if it's weird to say it this way. It feels like a song that was necessary.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I definitely feel like it talks about a lot of these themes in a way that I feel like needed to be said. Like, it says so many complicated thoughts so well.
It's got like, it's got a million layers. It has a metaphor, and then at one point it's just kind of, you got the metaphor, cool, toss it off to the side.
Right. Now, question everything you thought about this song.
It's not even question everything you saw. It's more of a, all of this stuff you thought about, all of that possibilities you thought about, you're probably right. It is as dark as you think it is.
Right.
It's that confirmation of it. But like, it feels really, it's very good, and I probably will end up listening to it more. Yes. It feels very necessary. It feels very like, is necessary the right word? I don't know. I'm bad with words. That's why I'm a visual artist.
That's right. I mean, that's why I'm not an English major. So, but
yeah, I don't know. It's just like, it's dark as all hell.
Oh yeah, but sometimes the best songs are that, because you really do like connect.
It could definitely be really heavy for someone.
Yes. Yes.
Which again, a reminder again, this one needs trigger warnings.
Oh, of course. Yeah, this will definitely have all of the trigger warnings. I'll have a whole segment before I even like about just, hey, let you know it's trigger warning, but all that. But yeah, like, shout out to Neru. Neru is the composer of this one, and apparently they've done a lot of other songs, and because everyone talks about how in Neru videos they have to have flying desks, which makes me really want to look into more of them.
Okay, there might be another song that I've actually listened to from him that or them, I don't know.
So yeah, I'm definitely gonna look up more of their songs, and maybe that'll be on a new one of ours. But once again, if you want to check out Artistic Panda Photography and Insta, that's a thing.
I have nothing on there. We also never really... Oh, right, this is going out second.
This is going out, yeah. Once I finally have a good archive of content of starting this podcast, I can now start.
Probably not even second. I'm like third or fourth.
This will be out
weird.
In a while.
This will be weird.
But also, I do want to end. I think I want to end. Just wrap up this whole analysis video, 2-hour analysis video, with this comment from, is it Henka28 from a year ago? Others, man, this song's emotional. Me, hardcore jamming ensues, and I feel that. So.
I feel like the thing is, it's both, right? It's both.
Oh yeah.
Damn, this song's emotional while hardcore jamming.
Oh yeah, there's comments underneath the Romeo and Cinderella song, which is like me just jamming onto the song and singing to it, not knowing what the translation is. Me finding out later. Oh. But yeah, my name is Dakota. You can find me on Insta as Dueling Pisces, and thank you for tuning in for this long ass analysis video of Tokyo Teddy Bear.
Podcast. This is supposed to be a podcast.
That's fine. It's all going on a YouTube channel.
I mean,
so
I guess
it
it is still a podcast, but like,
it's whatever. This is just having fun. So, anyways, thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you guys next time. Oh, sorry, I had to get the burp out. What was that?
Eventually.
Yeah.
See you all eventually.
See y'all eventually when I finally start with a posting actual schedule, because once I start editing these, I did finally commission someone to start making thumbnails. Well, not thumbnails, but a thumbnail to just like...
This is gonna be weird. We're talking about all of this at the end.
But yeah,
about
why not?
Setup stuff. It's going to release after a bunch of the stuff that... I don't know. I find it funny. That's fine. It's just us talking. That's what podcasts are. It is. So I find it funny that we're time travelers. Okay, turns out we're actually time travelers. Well, I'm an enigma already, a time enigma, but that's a whole different story. So I mean, you know why? As it currently stands, I don't think anyone here will know my name yet. Right. So no one knows my name. It's all right. So, but yeah, thank you so much. If you tuned in for the full 2 and something hours, you get a cookie, because holy crap, I would not have it if I were you.
And if you didn't if you're not here right now because the trigger warnings, that's fine. You're perfectly valid. And we love all of you. So thank you so much, everyone. And we look forward to seeing you guys next time. Have fun!